mindsets, all right, of development. 3 different mindsets that you'll find in the history of the modern world. You'll see this in the arts, you'll see this in technology. 3 different mindsets. Number 1, traditional. Number 2, modern. Number 3, postmodern. Okay? Each of them have a plus minus of a date to it. Traditional is from the ancient times up to about 1500. Modern is from 1500 to 1950-ish. And postmodern is after 1950. Alright? What are the differences between these 3 mindsets? Firstly, traditional means before all the major technological developments that created all kinds of mass media, the world was pretty much traditional. They had certain technologies like the wheel, fire, all kinds of other things, okay? But it wasn't really a mass media technologies, alright? So what did the world look like in the traditional mindset? Well, they didn't have TV, they didn't have internet or electricity. They, for entertainment at night, they would make a huge campfire. I'm just generalizing culture all over the world. They would make a big campfire, they would tell each other stories. You would find out the major stories that you knew about, your grandpa would have told you at the campfire. They would play out certain theater, ritual songs, campfires at night. Okay? So there were some other things, but I'm just telling you this in a nutshell, how this works. Traditional. What took traditional into modern, around the 1500s? The development of technology. One of the main technologies, the Gutenberg press. Before Gutenberg invented the printing press, you had to copy a book by hand. Took forever, okay? What happened when he invented the printing press? He invented a way that you can print pages quickly and reproduce books rapidly. What that did was it brought down the cost of books and the amount of books being printed. With the spread of books came the spread of ideas, more literacy, more education, and interaction of ideas. Okay? Other interesting technologies in the modern age includes the telescope. They realized that the Earth is not the center of the universe, but that it turns around the sun, and the sun is also not the center of the universe. It has its own solar pattern, and the universe is huge. Also, a little bit later, the microscope. Okay, people found out that there are little bugs that make you sick. Before that, they would say all sickness are spiritual. I'm just generalizing this, but traditional mindset says sickness is spiritual. Modern says, no, you just didn't wash your hands, because my microscope tells me your hands were dirty. That's why you're sick. In other words, the modern era brought in the scientific era. A little bit less about faith, relationship, culture, more about science. So they said, our science tells us the universe is large. Our science tells us germs. Our science tells us, it explains the world through science. It can measure things, okay? That's the modern age. It looks a little bit different because the more and more technologies were developed, the less people had to do things for themselves. For instance, they had machines, the Industrial Revolution, stuff like that. It happened inside these days. It's within the modern era. What took it from modern to postmodern? Well, there are many different events that did it. The main ones are World War I and World War II. Postmodern says World War I and II and the Great Depression in the US, those sorts of events, were so dramatic and so evil and caused people to suffer. If modernism and science could give us all our answers, why did the world wars happen? Why is the earth not perfect? That's what postmodern says. So the postmodern mindset is a response to the failure of modernism. Modernism says we can explain everything and fix everything with science, but it led to the world wars, among other things. Postmodernism says if modernism could solve all our problems, why do we still have problems? And so postmodernism is a response to the failure of modernism, okay? From traditional to modern was mainly because of technological developments, okay? From modern to postmodern is mainly because of the failure of modernism. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's the 3 mindsets that you find in history for culture and for development, and that we're discussing in this class.